We have a lot of common values, I feel, and that's something for me personally that has been very, very interesting and very reassuring doing the box project. In my view, some of the things that we can make sure that the children are prepared for are use of ICT, also the fact that they'll be working in a much more global community, either in this country or worldwide. So hence the India project was really ideal for that.
Children learn in different styles. What we'd done so far, up until the box, that we made the box, was very much literacy based, whereas this was more sort of kinesthetic learning. I asked them to think of an item that would sum up their family to them, and that would lead into maybe them putting that item in the box to send over to the APJ schools. We had to think about items that would actually fit into the shoebox and items that the children didn't mind sending over.
Whose t-shirt is that? That's mine. That's yours, right. And was it for a special occasion?
Newcastle won.
Newcastle won. Right, was they very happy about that?
It was like Christmas Day. They couldn't wait to unwrap the box that had come over from India. There were some good guesses as to what would be in the box because they did have some background knowledge of the Indian culture and what might be in there. But there were also some, big surprises. What's important to you about your family?
Well, we've been discussing why you like your family and what's important about them. And I thought they care for me and love for me and they're always there for me.
Then we went on to have a chat about whether we have any family customs or routines in our class.
Each Friday we watch a movie and we play a game together. We also toss a coin to see who gets to pick the movie and also the game after.
Nearly every Saturday and Sunday I go to my nanny's house with my brother, my mum and my dad because she makes lovely stew on Saturday and chips and gravy on Sunday.
Is there an item that you can think of that sums up your family to you?
A photo of my family and I standing in the pot all together. It's a ballet shoe that my great-grandmother's mum had and it's passed down the family and I'll be getting it next year.
Do you do ballet yourself? Lovely.
My item would be my grandpa's badge, which he got in the army. He was a sergeant in World War II and also fought in World War II.
Tell us what you put into the box for India.
Well, I put in a box a baseball.
Why? Why did you choose that object?
Well, I think in India they might not have ever seen a baseball or played it, so I thought maybe they could start to play it.
Can you remind us what you put into the box? What did you bring into school to put into the box for India?
I put in a picture of my family and me into the box to go to India.
Was it on a special occasion?
Yeah, it was on my mum's birthday.
Excellent. Now, what do you think the Indian children will think about the photograph and what does it tell them about family values in this country?
I think that it'll tell them we all like going out together and having a good laugh.
You've got some ideas about what you think the children in India will have put into the box. What are they?
Well, Mrs. Matthews and Miss D brought some elephants back from India, from the Indian market, and so they might be special to the children because they've been given by somebody special to them.
Excellent. Why do you think elephants particularly?
Well, it's just because there's lots of them in India and they're quite special to the Indians.
Thank you, well done. What do you think has been put into the Indian box?
Well, I think that in some toys that have been passed along from their mothers and fathers and maybe even from their grandmas and grandpas, that there might be some tiny horns or some ornaments being wrapped up. I think that it'll be like a metal frame with beads on, because I've got one from Africa, so I think that India will have the same sort of thing.
What would they use that frame for, do you think?
They'd use this as like a decoration.
I think they would have some ornaments of their gods because their gods are quite special to them.
What do you think it is?
I think it's those things that they put on their heads when they, do you know the red dots that they put on their heads? I'm taking this out and it says Rangoli on it, and I think that Rangoli is a type of pasta. These are some photos from India and there's some of the children. That one's where a little boy and his mother and his father are stood outside the temple, and that one I think's in the garden with the children.
And I also think that it's a temple where they go to worship, or a temple where they go to pray, and because there's lots of people behind them going in, and I think that's where they do it. And there's a writing on the back.
I'm sure it's his parents at Taj Mahal. I thought it was the Taj Mahal.
We brought a lot back from our trip to India, and we talked to the children a lot about what we'd done, but I think it's turned that sort of intangible concept into something concrete for them. So they've been able to sort of learn through a different method rather than going away and doing research. They've been able to learn by doing.
And then the children had to go out and get these items. And once they got them in, what did you do with them? Did you have a lesson where you discussed these?
Yeah.
The children shared the reasoning behind what they'd chosen. So again, they were sharing with all of the other classmates, really, which was very interesting. A lot of the children had chosen similar items. I think teddies were popular, photographs particularly. And then really it was together as a group, them choosing which would be the best collection to then represent their family values.
The children spent a lot of time imagining what Indian children would like. So it was for them quite a bit of learning or standing in other people's shoes.
Yes.
Exactly.
It was interesting. One of the items was a small children's rolling pin that we put in that had significant meaning for one of the children. And it was quite interesting. They immediately felt that, oh yes, the children over in India would know exactly what that rolling pin was, what it would be used for, and they would have similar items for preparing food over there.
You're planning to do something similar, putting together a box?
We're doing something similar with secondary school students, and that's from age range about 13 through to 16, when our students go to India in a few weeks' time. Okay. So it'll be interesting to see what they choose and how their perhaps preconceptions are different from primary school children, because I think teenagers become very, very self-reflective, don't they?
Yeah, they're conscious of what other people think about them.
Yeah.
And that's going to influence what they put in the box.
I think it will do, yes. And I think the impact of technology will be there as well.
I think one of the fun part of the project was predicting what would come back.
Yes. We found that the Year 4 children were quite accurate in some of the items.
Yeah.
They'd said jewellery, some toys, photographs particularly, those sorts of things similarly that they'd put in.
I think that it'll be like a metal frame with beads on, because I've got one from Africa, so I think that India will have the same sort of thing.
What would they use that frame for, do you think?
They'd use this as like a decoration.
I think they would have some ornaments of their gods because their gods are quite special to them.
How did the children enjoy the experience of being filmed?
Oh, they were thrilled to have been able to take part in this project. And obviously it will impact on the whole school once they actually watch the video, but the children that were involved in it were over the moon.
So Kathy, how do you assess what they have learned? Does making the video help you capture that?
It does, hugely. It's something that we can use then as a tool, the video, with other teachers within the school, really going back and looking at precisely what the children understood before the project began, in some of their initial discussions about their own family values, and then their predictions for the India items and what those family values are that would be reflected in the items. So very, very useful tool indeed, and to have that permanent record for years to come, I think that would be really useful.
Do you want to do it a second time?
I would do, yes. So obviously if we were going to do it with our India link schools, there'd have to be a different focus. But I think, you know, I'm trying to set up links with schools from European countries, so this is definitely an idea that I could take and do with them. So I'd definitely do this again. I think it's been really valuable.
What are the other things that you might like to explore?
Yeah, I mean, you see, with secondary schools, you could do quite a lot of different, more subject-based ones. You could do one with a historical theme, right, or one that would introduce a geographical, maybe a whole humanities theme, or a science theme. And I think there's a great simplicity in the box, which then opens out all sorts of opportunities for discussion.
Are you waiting to see your box being opened in India?
Absolutely.
We're really looking forward to seeing that video.
Yes, yeah, the teachers as well as the children, yes, very much anticipating what their response would be, yes.
If you use the shot of all four of them as what we call an establishing shot, which lets us get a sense of the space, and once you've asked the first question, we can then move in and get a single shot of the person who's answering.
Okay.
If I hand over to you.
Yeah, fine.
There we go.
If you could think of an item that sums up your family to you, what would that be? And just wait there, wait for me to come in.
The item would be a family photo album with pictures of my family holding me as a baby.
Fantastic.
The third type of shot, which is very useful, is what's called a reaction shot. We're actually going to get a shot not of the person who's answering the question, but of everybody else listening to them.
What's important to you about your family?
It's important when me and my mum spend time together, because she's usually on the computer doing work, so we don't usually get to spend much time together.
Okay, that's great. So now we've got a nice sequence. We've put it together piece by piece, but what you'll find is that when you've done it a few times, you'll just be able to get the sequence of shots while everything's going on, so it's much more comfortable.
Yeah. Good.
That's great.
The box has finally arrived.
Maybe they have sent some gifts for us? Oh, it's very heavy. The dear four children. Your four children. Nick.